The new Bruno Mars brain rot has a huge issue because we all know how Sammy spawned this for every player today, making it one of the most owned brain rots in the game. But that's not even the main problem, because when looking at the money per second, it produces an insane 3.5 million, making it much stronger than tons of other much rarer brain rots like the GOAT, 25, and even Lavaka Jacqueline Torino, which not only messes with the economy, but the real problem is how is Bruno Mars even considered a brain rot? The new Bruno Mars brain rot has a huge issue because we all know how Sammy spawned this for every player today, making it one of the most owned brain rots in the game. But that's not even the main problem, because when looking at the money per second, it produces an insane 3.5 million, making it much stronger than tons of other much rarer brain rots like the GOAT, 25, and even Lavaka Jacqueline Torino, which not only messes with the economy, but the real problem is how is Bruno Mars even considered a brain rot? The new Bruno Mars brain rot has a huge issue because we all know how Sammy spawned this for every player today, making it one of the most owned brain rots in the game. But that's not even the main problem, because when looking at the money per second, it produces an insane 3.5 million, making it much stronger than tons of other much rarer brain rots like the GOAT, 25, and even Lavaka Jacqueline Torino, which not only messes with the economy, but the real problem is how is Bruno Mars even considered a brain rot? The new Bruno Mars brain rot has a huge issue because we all know how Sammy spawned this for every player today, making it one of the most owned brain rots in the game. But that's not even the main problem, because when looking at the money per second, it produces an insane 3.5 million, making it much stronger than tons of other.
These are the most annoying inventors in human history. First up, Horace Mann, the man who invented school and made every generation suffer. At least he could have added 6 Sundays or something. Next is Henry Fischel, the inventor of exams. Bro added stress, anxiety, and trauma to schools for absolutely no reason. And finally, Ethan Zuckerman, the inventor of pop-up ads. Yeah, those sketchy ads saying,
Linda lives 3 miles away and wants to meet you.
Pure evil. These are the most annoying.
While many levels take thousands or even millions of objects to get rated, this level right here uses fewer objects than most recent tab levels and still managed to get rated. I'm talking about Through, a rated insane level made with only 25 objects. Just 4 of them are used for the gameplay, and the rest are for the background and visual effects. The result is a very simple but creative level that even your grandma's phone can run. Really interesting. While many levels take
Do not eat these brain rots in real life. We all know Steal a Brain Rot has a bunch of food-themed brain rots, but these are the ones you should never eat in real life, starting with Chillin' Chili. This brain rot is modeled after the hottest pepper in the world, Pepper X. It has a 2.693 million Scoville rating, meaning just one bite would make you insanely sick, and probably have you finishing hundreds of ice cream tubs just to survive. Next is Spaghetti Toiletti. I don't really have to say much other than, ew. Toilet water has millions of bacteria per square inch, so eating spaghetti soaked in it would make you instantly leave the lobby in real life. This next one is a very popular dish in Japan, Puffball, aka the puffer fish. It contains a super deadly poison, and if it's prepared wrong, you'll get food poisoning and risk a permanent oof. And last we have Burguro and Fryuro. Eating a couple of burgers and fries might seem harmless, but if you eat them too much, you'll risk some health issues later on. And yeah, you'll be in the bathroom for days, maybe weeks. Do not eat these brain rots in real life. We all know Steal a Brain Rot has a bunch of food-themed brain rots.
Hast du satt?
A million likes and I'll get this implanted into my chest. It actually hit 1 million likes. All right, no backing out now. I said I'd do it, so I guess it's happening. The smell of metal, the sound, the heartbeat that wasn't mine. All right, it's done. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Here is the arc reactor. You can see it's still a little bit tender, but now I just need the suit. Obviously 1 million likes was too easy for you guys. 100 million likes, and I'm gonna make a real Iron Man suit.
Minecraft has posted another Find the 10 errors, and I think this one might be the hardest one yet. So it's time for us to
Find the 10 errors.
I think the first one's pretty obvious. Guardians don't spawn here. Instead, they spawn in and outside the ocean monument. What you might not have realized is the glow squid can't spawn here either. It is technically possible for them to spawn in lush caves, but for glow squids to naturally spawn, it has to be a light level of 0. And thanks to the large amount of glow berries, this cave is lit up quite well. When you pick up an axolotl in a bucket, the texture looks like this, not a puffer fish in a bucket. Sweetberry fishes only spawn in tiger biomes, but they do look really good spawning here. Also a little bit more obvious, diamond blocks definitely don't spawn in lush caves. 2 specific rooms in the Woodland Mansion are the only place that they can naturally spawn. This one's sneaky. That last torch didn't get used up when they placed it down. Also, another sneaky one. Smooth basalt blocks can spawn outside amethyst geodes, but they've replaced some of these with chiseled tough blocks. Amethyst can only grow off this block, the budding amethyst. Also, at this size, it's not going to drop any amethyst. It's only going to drop the shards once it's fully grown. We did get all 9 so far. And the final 10th one, once they use the glowing ink sac, it turns into a regular ink sac in their inventory. And we found all 10 errors. Minecraft has posted another Find the 10 errors. And I think
Throwback to 2020 when this girl went viral after sticking over 3,000 pop sockets on her wall to create a giant fidget toy, and the CEO of Pop Sockets saw the video and ended up sending her 9,000 pop sockets worth basically $100,000 so she could cover her car with them. It took her 21 hours just to unbox them and another 21 hours to stick them all on her car, which ended up getting lots of attention and smiles whenever she drove it around. About a year later, she painted every pop socket black, then sprayed them with a special paint that turns them into a rainbow-like color when heat is applied. Then another year after that, Pop Socket sent her 7,000 more to make a giant Pop Socket floor, and almost another year later, she went back to her original Pop Socket wall after a company sent her over 3,000 sticky tops to apply to every Pop Socket, and then proceeded to stick things to it like her laptop acting as a standing desk. Throwback to 2020.
At this point, FNAF has more hoax characters than real ones, so here's a timeline of the prominent fake animatronics that people actually believed. Sparky the dog came around the first game's release and is the godfather of all hoax characters. He was originally posted on Tumblr, photoshopped into the parts and service cam where he stands at the employees only door, and he was so prominent he was even added into the FNAF movie. Now, FNAF 2 had much more hoaxes, the most famous being the purple guy animatronic, which I mean, seriously? Like, who is actually believing this? I'm sorry, but this is just horrible. Now, if you thought that was stupid, let me tell you about Shadow Man, which is exactly what you think it would be. He was a vague silhouette of a man that was rumored to be visible from the cameras, even supposedly having a jump scare. However, I believe Shadow Balloon Boy was a much more realistic hoax, as he just made more sense considering his resemblance to RWQ FSFASXC. It's believed that these originally spread around since at the time the actual mainline Shadow animatronics were so rare, people really didn't know what to believe. Now, by far, the game that was hoaxed the most has got to be FNAF 3. After Scott Cawthon released this official teaser image for the game on his website, people got the entirely wrong idea. At first, it was believed that this was Fredbear, as the flipped image resembled him, kind of, but this theory led fans to create Salvage, or Fredtrap, who resembled a mix of Springtrap and Freddy. Aside from that teaser alone, the box, not to be confused with the chest from FNAF 4, was a decorative asset seen in one of the pre-release trailers for FNAF 3, which led people to believe this would be an enemy in the game. People went as far as to say the game would center around an Endo that would build himself into this Mangle-like animatronic, which is quite a far-fetched idea, but a cool concept at the least. And that just about wraps it up for this video. Make sure to subscribe and leave a comment on your favorite hoax. At this point, FNAF has more hoax characters than real ones, so here's a timeline of the prominent fake animatronics that people actually believed. Sparky the dog came around the first game.
This is the most pathetic streamer ever, and it's really sad to see how many people fell for his scam. It was pretty devious, so who is this guy? Well, I found him randomly while scrolling through shorts, where he did a live stream of playing with Crocodile Dentist toy, but with a twist. He replaced the top layer of the teeth with nails, which is obviously a safety hazard and should not be tried at home. But he doesn't care. He presses down all the teeth but one, and this is where he started to be slick. So what he does is to tell people to
join the stream. It's in a purple 2026
before proceeding to press the final teeth, and then
what? Wait! We just see two nice people to join the stream.
He's just stalling. And it's actually working too, because people are subscribing in expectation that he's actually gonna hurt himself doing this dangerous challenge. But no, every time he said he's gonna do it, he stalled the stream and telling his viewers to do something first before he said he's gonna do it, and then stall again and ask his viewers to do something, and then says he's gonna do it, blah 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 blah. And he does this over and over. This stream is actually put on loop, and he specifically tailored his stream to always attract newcomers, because who doesn't want to see someone getting injured? It shouldn't be a surprise anyways, because if he actually were to injure himself, this stream would have been
You